Hi, Miss Candy. How are you?
I'm good, Miss Jen. How are you?
I am well, thank you.
I missed you guys.
I know we missed you, but you shouldn't have missed us. You're having more fun with really cute guys with really cute buns. and
Hmm.
yeah,
Tit
Jeremy, I'm
for
talking about you.
tat.
Yeah, Jeremy, I'm talking about you. And I'm trying to share this to a couple of our chats real quick, our
Yes.
groups.
Awesome,
So
awesome,
just so you know,
awesome.
you're on our page right now and you're trying to find us, there is for some reason,
Uh-oh, Jen, you're freezing up. I think you
yay.
froze
Okay.
up.
Are you there, Candy?
I am. Are you?
Candy.
I'm here. Hello. Are you there, Jen? Jen, are you there? Uh-oh. Is she frozen or am I frozen? Which one of us is it?
I think we're taking turns. I'm trying to like delete my cookies right now so it doesn't happen again.
Rocket Scientist 95, welcome to the show. Chicks and salsa, you love salsa? Jen is frozen. All right. Thank you for letting me know. On with the show, right? Whether I'm solo or dual. Ooh, a frozen margarita. I like
Yes.
frozen margaritas too.
Can you hear
Jen,
me?
do you like frozen margaritas?
Hey, Candy, stay on.
Yeah.
Y'all listen to Candy talking about the draft. I'm going to log off and log back in. I don't know if that's the problem or not, but I'll be right back.
Okay. So I had the pleasure
Okay, I'm sorry.
of going to. Oh, there we are. Jen is coming in and out. Yes, rocket scientist. She's going to reboot, try and refresh her computer. Meanwhile, I'm going to talk about the NFL draft. Boy, what an experience. I am from the Midwest. I am not from Detroit, but my other half is from Detroit. And we had the pleasure of covering the NFL draft. 700, over 700,000 people. Can you believe it? Imagine that. It was a great time. Kudos to Detroit. I have to give my hats off to them. You know, they really did it well. They did crowd control. They had enough people there. Like it was really good. It was neat being there at the draft after the first night. Obviously, is the big night because that's where all your number one draft picks come in. And after they get picked, they talk with all kinds of local media from the teams that they were picked from. And then they come into the general media, which is where we were. Jeremy was goaded at the draft. Smoking Jeremy B, for those of you that know the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel, know that he appears on some of our shows. Well, he was with us there at the draft, and he did his show live from the draft. Day 2, day 3, I don't remember how many hours he streamed. He was awesome, but it was quite the experience. Miss Jen is back.
Hi, I'm
Yay!
sorry, girl, lady. I
It's
didn't mean to. I tried to dump more cookies in cash. Thanks, rocket scientist. I know I should have turned on my laptop before I came on. I didn't.
it's all good. It's all good. We've just been talking about the
Oh, I've been
draft.
drinking frozen margaritas. I hope I look like a strawberry one because that's what I've been drinking.
Ooh, I
Um,
love me a good strawberry one.
oh, my favorite type of salsa. It's
My
okay.
favorite
I've
type
got
is
three.
I have a girlfriend that actually makes her own homemade salsa. And she's from Wisconsin and she mails it to me. She ships it to me.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
yum. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do the same thing. I love like a mango habanero salsa.
Mhm.
Um, I love habanero and tomato salsa. My girlfriend makes a killer watermelon salsa, and she will not give me the recipe. And I live on the other side of the country from her. Yeah, Brett, I'm talking about you, boo. Um, but I mean, and then just traditional salsa with a bunch of like jalapenos and Like, because I've
Mhm.
got to be nice to people who don't like heat as much as I do, but I love heat. Hi, Joshua.
Hi, Joshua.
So,
What
rocket
is
scientist, what is your favorite salsa?
my favorite is I would have to say my girlfriend's. I mean, she makes her homemade that's really good that she ships it to us.
It's so
It's
easy.
I know, I know. I do
I
not
just
make my own chips. I could,
no,
but I don't.
I don't have time for that. I
No,
barely
me.
have time to clean my house, Candy.
You
But
telling me?
okay, your turn.
Come on.
Sorry, we got distracted by talks of salsa. And no,
No,
Josh, I don't make my own chips. I'm not that cool.
no, but question for Candy. Where is Scott? Well, this is Chicks and Salsa, so this is not Scott's show. This is a female show, and yes, once in a blue moon, he is a guest on the show. But he will be on South Florida Tribune YouTube channel doing Inside the Pigskin around 8:30. So stay tuned for that.
And rocket scientist, ham, green beans, and corn. And the corn was shucked right before it was put in the pot.
Panthers or Bruins? Well, they started their series last night. The Bruins took them down. They scored and scored and scored.
I gotta go with the Bruins. Also, like honestly, and my best friend's from right outside of Sharon, Mass. Like, you
Canes
know,
or Rangers?
oh, Hurricanes, baby. We're Carolina.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, just the Bruins destroyed the Panthers last night. I have to give kudos to the goalie. I mean, for the Bruins, he played a really good game. So,
Yeah.
and kudos to, and I forget his name, and I'm sorry, guys. Joshua, you should know he was on the Boston Bruins. He scored a goal last night. He in the morning at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he got to see
Oh
that, and
wow.
he flew to the game and got there 2 hours before game time, and he scored a goal. So like he had an ultimate day. Like yesterday was just his day. I don't remember what his name was, but kudos to him because that was cool.
Keeney, just so you know, I cannot share this for some reason. I don't know why.
Uh-oh.
No. Well. Oh well, sorry. I'll put a post on
Forgot his
YouTube.
name too. Thanks, Joshua. You're supposed to, be my right-hand person here. Come on, Joshua. Ah, let's see
You
who scored yesterday in the Bruins game. We happened to be watching it. Let's see. It was one of them.
Oh, Jeremy coming in with the slam dunk, baby. Swish on
Ooh,
top. Oh, never mind.
ouch.
Really? Well, what did the photographer do? Did he
I
get
don't
in
know,
his way?
but I'm a photographer, so don't be punching photographers.
Right?
Yeah. Was it Geeky, Lori, Carlo, Brazour, or DeBrusque? And it wasn't DeBrusque. I think it was paparazzi stuff.
Was it like some Kanye stuff, like at LAX airport, like circa 2014? Okay, so Candy, tell us.
Yeah.
Have you already started talking about the draft?
I
And the
talked
first,
a little bit about it because I said Jeremy was there with me.
yes,
Obviously Scott and George Eichhorn, we all were there for the opening night. It was
you had
really cool when they would bring in the draft picks,
uh-huh.
and then we got to talk to them. I can say that both Jeremy and Scott got a question in, which was pretty good considering there was how many media on like one or two of the
Right.
players, not on all of them, because obviously some of them, like Caleb, had so many people coming in there.
Mm-hmm.
And they only allowed them to like answer questions for like 5 minutes. So it wasn't very long. I was really kind of surprised.
Yeah.
In a room of 75 to 100 media asking questions, you can't get a lot of questions in 5 minutes, but it was still cool. It was neat to be there. It was neat to on Sunday we went out and we got to walk around the whole all the stage and over there. That was Jeremy says it was like 10 questions per draftee, but it was just still cool to be there, like just to say that we were there. It was an experience I'll never forget. Let's put it that way. Scott got an interview with one of the former, what was it, Mark? What was his name? It's on our Mel Owens, and he was a 9th pick in the first round of one of the drafts back in 20. I don't know. He played for the LA Rams though, so and he's on South Florida, and he played for Michigan. So if you check the South Florida Tribune's YouTube channel, you could go see his interview with him.
Hey, you want to let Skid me to come in because I kind of want to hear about this next comment he made.
Hearing the way Caleb said "Go Bears" was classic. Well, there's jokes going around that Caleb is actually a Packers fan, so it's kind of funny. Are you freezing up there, John?
Well, he didn't want to come on at all.
Yeah. It was classic. So I was surprised because, come on, say the way Caleb said it. I still am all stuffed up. I can't do it.
How did he say it, Candy?
Jeremy, you got to come on. Come on. We got to get you on here. You can say it the way. Is there a recording?
I'm going to send him the link right now.
I was going to say.
Huh?
I was gonna say we gotta send him a link. Maybe he can quick pop on for a minute. Jeremy, get in the show. Send me the link. Jeremy says, "Did you get it?"
Send him the link right now. No, he hasn't yet. I am right now. Search.
I got it. So,
all right, Jeremy, you got it.
Jeremy, you got to pop on so you can come on and say it the way Caleb says it, since he's such a Bears fan there.
And Jeremy, you now have fans demanding your Tushy on our show, so come on in.
Yep.
Because I also want to hear like how you guys felt with your first like major NFL experiences, and just.
I've been to NFL games as media. Jeremy hasn't, so this was really Jeremy's very first.
So, rocket scientist, are you saying that we need to include goat cheese in our topics?
Hello.
Hi, Jeremy.
Jeremy.
The best part was he stands up, he gets ready to walk out. Remember, he bent over to the microphone and he grabbed it and he goes, "Go Bears."
Was he so like unimpressed to be drafted by them?
I don't know, but I know
because I missed the first part of the draft. I'm sorry.
I'm a Packers fan and a Rodgers fan. And the pink fingernails and the pink iPhone case. He may have a smoking hot girlfriend, but that could be a cover.
All right. Well, we're not going to talk about that because whatever happens in the bedroom stays in the bedroom.
Sure. That's fine. But go Bears.
Go Bears.
Well, honestly, like there was so much drama around him wanting to go to the Bears about him.
There was a lot of drama because at one point they were saying that he was his parents were requiring him to get a part ownership. And
I'm losing it again, I think.
Yep, you are too.
You are lagging.
Yep.
Oh, there she goes.
Yep.
I'm back. Okay.
Hey, there you are.
I'm going to buy some more RAM this weekend because my good friend Paul Spencer was like, I think you need more RAM. So, but yeah, because he didn't want to share his medical. And if y'all said this and I'm being redundant, just tell me. But he was like, he didn't want to share it. He didn't want to get a medical exam. He did.
Mm-hmm. There she goes again.
This is so annoying.
Run better.
Can you
Jen, unblur your background because that takes a lot of memory when you're doing it.
Yep. What does?
Blurring your background.
Any of those virtual backgrounds, whether it's blurred or not.
Okay. Let me change that real quick. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It also eats more of your bandwidth because it's actually doing that. And look, you're moving. Your eyes moved at the same time.
Okay, so forgive my mess. I forgot to pick up my jacket on the floor behind me. So sorry. Let's see if we can get that
No
up.
problem.
Okay.
Isn't that your Charlotte Hornets jacket?
No, that was a Hornets jacket. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what,
question for Jeremy.
Yeah.
What's for dinner?
jalapeno poppers and potato wedges and goulash.
Ooh. Hey, rocket scientist, try the tomahawk pork chop.
The tomahawk pork chop, the tomahawk steak, all of those are
Mhm.
amazing. Because the tomahawk steak, it's actually just a big ribeye, and a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know that because they also call it a cowboy ribeye because
Yep.
when cows would die on the cattle drives, they literally would butcher it right there, and they would make tomahawk steaks, which meant they just left the bone in, so they didn't have to use a utensil, and they ate it caveman style.
Oh, okay.
See,
I
the
may or
thing
may not have seen
we
that in my
educate
lifetime,
our
too.
audience with.
Exactly.
But yeah, there was so much drama because like his dad wanted partial ownership of the team that drafted him. Like, yeah, you can do that, sir, as long as you buy in and you get approved by the rest of the owners.
Because he got so
But
used to the NIL money, he wanted to make sure he was going to make the same thing in the pros.
well, that made me mad too because Caleb, you are not the best thing since sliced bread, baby.
Eh,
But,
well, I'm
and then
going to
you've
go
got
ahead
Justin
and say it.
Fields.
I've
Stupid.
been saying it for 2 years now. The only reason Caleb Williams won the Heisman is because the 3 quarterbacks ahead of him had 4 worse performances in their conference championship game than he did in his losing effort. And Blake Corum also broke his leg, who was ahead of him. And prior to that, 4 weeks prior to that, Hendon Hooker had the ACL injury that took him out, who was head and shoulders above everybody.
Well, in all honesty, like I think there's several other quarterbacks that will actually be more successful in the NFL. Now, admittedly, no, the Bears' first draft was different because they got it from us, but so we could get Bryce last year.
I told you in 2020, you might have been better off with Caleb. He at least can see over the O-line.
No, we cannot blame Jeremy. We'll talk offline. Like honestly, like there are a lot of players who would not come back to play for us because of the drama and the theatrics that went on and off the field last year. And I'm trying to get press passes, so I want to be nice, but I think somebody was a little too hands-on. Mm-hmm. I think an incident in Jacksonville may have taught them a lesson.
I give it a C+ draft because they didn't draft his replacement yet.
Right.
I'm just playing.
Yeah,
no,
I'm not gonna lie. I want to Drake May. Not gonna lie.
No, who didn't? I mean, think about it. The rumor is that Minnesota tried to move up to 3 and they were turned down, and they offered them both this pick and next year's first round pick. They offered them 3 first round picks to go to 3 because they wanted to make sure they got Drake May and not JJ McCarthy.
Really? I thought they wanted JJ.
No, Minnesota wanted to get up there, so they had their choice. No, I'm not a chick.
He's one of our biggest fans, and we love him. And he was with Candy.
These are my glops. And if you don't know what a glop is, it's the gorgeous ladies of podcasting. It's like the old glow wrestling thing.
Exactly. Joshua, you're being funnies. Okay. But so Candy,
I already need a beat up.
Like when you walked in for the first time. Like when y'all walked in for the first time, what was that like?
Oh, for my first NFL event, it was amazing. Running into Troy, John Shearer, meeting a guy that I look up to and trust his word because he has an office at Allen Park out of the reporters, Jeff Risden, and talking to him. And then on Sunday, walking up to the ticket guy because I knew it was Pat Caputo. So when I told him, I said, I'm trying to get into the draft. He goes, yeah, if you get it, I'm going to owe you a beer. So I literally walked up. Hey, Pat, guess what? It's Smoking Jeremy B from Burton. So Pat
okay, what was it like for you?
It was cool. It was my only regret, and I would say this, and I know Jeremy understands this. where the media was located, we couldn't see the stage and the fans. So that's my only regret, is that not being able to really see the crowd except for on the TV, just like everybody else. You know, we were part of it, but we weren't.
That was the main reason when there was a long delay between picks for the Lions that I would go outside and have my cigarette break.
Right.
Roof, there's your dog check. I'm also going to do a little one because this is not the normal show we do that.
Well, Joshua, you asked something about Will. I will
Will,
just say
Will,
I
Will
got Will
will be
into
back
this.
on Friday. That's all I got to say, Josh.
And I'll just say that I got Will into podcasting. We knew each other from Hornets games. And Will, you still owe me like 6 birthday presents.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so Candy, what was it like for you when you walked in for your first NFL experience?
It was cool. I mean, I've gone to NFL games as a photographer, so that it was very different because at the NFL draft, obviously, I wasn't a photographer. I was in there, you know, as part of the media group talking about, you know, covering it and writing. And I will eventually write a story about it and put it up on South Florida Tribune. I just haven't yet. But it was cool. It was cool. I mean, NFL, obviously covering the NFL on a big stage like that is just, it's an honor. Not
It
everybody
truly is.
gets to do it.
Truly is. Like, I was surprised when I was at Super Bowl this past year. I was talking to some people and they were like, oh yeah, it's old hat. I come here every year. And I go, no offense, but I hope I'm never in that thought process because it's an honor to be here. Not
Right.
everyone can be here.
Right.
And
Exactly.
he was, he kind of looked at me and he goes, yeah, I guess you're right.
Well,
people-
and to
Yeah,
cover
right.
it, and to cover it in Detroit, where I knew Jeremy and Scott and George are all from, like to
Yeah.
see them and their excitement as well was awesome. I mean, like
Aw.
I can't make that up because, like, let's face it, it's not going to be back there for another 30 some years. So
It could be that, but with them setting the attendance records, they may bring it back sooner because they
Right.
know that they have the hotels, the accommodations for the people that can't get in to actually be able to enjoy the draft in the surrounding areas. Because that was the crazy thing that I found out while I was waiting for the draft to start. I go to, after get everything set up and ready to rock. I go downstairs, and there was a couple of the police officers having lunch, and I'm like, "Oh, what that?" So I was like, "So how was the weekend for you guys?" He goes, "Well, there's 400 of us here, 395 throughout the crowd, and 5 you guys don't see because they're members of SWAT and they're on top of buildings." So they literally had snipers out there.
Oh, of course. They have to.
Right. And he goes, in all actuality, we only had 3 flare-ups inside the draft area where people were paid attendance the entire time. And it was one guy versus one guy in a fist fight here, one guy versus one guy with a fist fight here, and some girl snuck in a porcelain pocket knife.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, the ceramic, porcelain, whatever. It didn't show up on the metal detectors at the gates, but she brandished it. For what, we don't know, but the cop was right there, and it wasn't hers much longer.
And she was not inside the stadium, the arena much longer.
And they said every day there was over 300,000 people outside the gates at the different watch parties throughout the draft through Greektown and in the whole downtown area. So if you really think about it, and out of all of that, they only had 1 DUI all weekend, Friday and Saturday night.
That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah,
Especially
I'm just
for Detroit.
yeah. I was like, man,
Exactly.
even the citizens.
But people were being smart because they went into, you know,
Hmm?
whatever. But then, okay, so one more question about this. So, Jeremy, I'll ask Jeremy first since he's guest, and Candy, I'm going with you because I'm going to segue you into what else you covered too. So, Jeremy, what were your 2 favorite draft picks that were not your team that you saw and you heard them talking? It just touched you. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, okay, this guy's going to give it everything he's got.
Arizona getting Darius Robinson, the guy that was mocked to Detroit by everybody. When you listen to him talk, he sounded like he could be one of those player type coaches on the field. He's very process oriented, very smart, very lethargic. And because he was funny, Malik Neighbors, he made me laugh. He was funny as hell.
Yeah.
So Malik Neighbors had a good one. But the the biggest thing that I noticed while I was in there, and there was closer to like 150 if you included the cameraman that was there in the press room during the early part when all the draftees were coming in. And, Caleb got picked first, but didn't come in till fifth because of all the stuff he was going through with being the first
Oh
pick.
yeah, because he probably had to stop at some radio booths, ESPN, real quick.
Yeah,
And probably Chicago media.
Yeah.
but the thing that I was happy about is because I listened to how everybody did it, and it was whoever spoke up the loudest and clearest got picked by the draftee to talk to. So when I had a chance and Terry on Arnold's on the stage, I tried a couple times to do the polite, slightly loud thing. That didn't work,
You
so I
can't
sounded
be
off. So I sounded off like I had a pair,
been there, done that.
and he goes, "Yes, sir." As soon as I said his name, he responded right away.
That's funny. Yeah, I've had those experiences like at ACC, like tip off and kickoff. And it's funny because there's this one guy and he and I get along. We're jovial, like we don't know each other's names, but we're jovial and we like each other enough, right? Friendly acquaintances. And like last time in ACC tip off, I was like, "Excuse me, I was here first." I was like, and I did it before Rob Cobb at Super Bowl at an event, but I was like being moved out of my spot where I was told to go because I'm very much I'm supposed to be in this location. This is where so-and-so told me to be. Like, so that's just me. All right, Candy, your favorite too.
Oh my goodness, my
Not
favorite.
part of the Packers or Jacksonville, so I'm taking those out. Or the Lions.
Oh no, she's not a Lions person.
I'm not
No,
a Lions
she's married to a
person.
Lions person, so she's out.
Oh, that's not fair.
I was gonna say that takes out a lot of the different ones. I mean, some of the ones I think
You can pick whoever you want. I'm just picking on you.
no, it's okay, but I think some of the reactions, like when they saw, if they weren't there in person, like the reactions with them and their families, like some of them that were just like break down and like almost cried, like that was cool to see. Like, I mean, we forget that these are young, impressionable men, and you think, I mean, NFL, this is a big tough league, these guys, but those that were really truly happy and honored to be drafted where they were, that, I mean, for me was probably the best part of it. I will also say that this was the first time Scott covered the NFL draft from the NFL draft experience. He has covered it for teams and have been with the teams at their facilities when they were drafting at a different location, at the draft. But this was the first time he was actually there in person with the NFL. He's covered the Lions, Jags, and the Dolphins before in their draft rooms and stuff like that. So this is the first time for the actual NFL. I think it was cool to see. Now, I didn't ask any questions, but like to see Jeremy and Scott both get a question in, I thought that was cool, and to listen to their responses and stuff like that, because you sometimes think of, you go to a media event, and like Jeremy said, there was 150 people between photographers and media, and to try and get a question in was really difficult, but that they both got a question in on the Lions draft pick, I thought was cool.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So what were your two favorite draft picks? Who were your two favorite draft picks? And I'll just say not
Packers.
Not Green Bay.
I was happy for Drake May. Let's face it. I mean, I saw him. So Wednesday prior, there was a special event where they interacted, where the top 11 draft picks or prospects at that point were interacting with Special Olympics, and they had different events that they were helping them with. And he was just so genuine, and you could just hear him, talking and interacting with the kids, that I thought that was really cool. So I thought his, just being down to earth, I thought that was really cool. Who was my other favorite? I don't know if I have another favorite.
I'll say this: what impresses? Oh,
The Indianapolis Colts, that one was pretty. What was his name?
Laiatu Leitu.
There you go.
oh yeah, his was pretty cool.
His
Yeah.
was amazing. And Scott got to ask him a question too.
Yes, exactly. Scott got a question on him too. So
But my favorite reaction out of all the Lions draftees, I kind of hate when a first round pick, I'm gonna take us to the Super Bowl thing does. That irks me a little bit, but it's cool to have that swagger with the way the team is going and the stuff that happened 2 nights before when they did the uniform reveal with the owner saying it. But Giovanni Manu, when they went to the camera thing and they talked to him about being drafted and they showed his reaction to the phone call, he had the tears in his eyes and everything like that. But as he hung up the phone, you literally hear him say, "I get to protect Jared Goff."
That's
Because he
Mhm.
literally raised his octaves and everything when he spoke, you know.
So we have to end soon because Jeremy, are you on after? Okay.
I,
I have a question for you after this though. But if that's okay. Or you can message me when you're done. But
I'm pretty sure we got a quick minute because
but I did want to ask Candy about what she and Mr. Morganroth covered immediately following the draft.
So after the draft, we drove up to Niagara Falls. From Niagara Falls, we went up to Toronto. We actually we went to a game in Toronto, the Toronto Blue Jays versus the Kansas City Royals. And Scott got to talk to Don Mattingly, who we all know is one of Scott's favorites. That was cool. And then after we got home, we actually covered the Inter Miami game this past Saturday, where they scored 6-2 and won, and Messi set an MLS record for 5 assists in one game.
awesome.
So that was cool.
That's
So we've
awesome.
been busy, and we're
Just
headed back to Detroit this weekend.
Now, what are you covering this coming weekend?
We're hoping to cover the Miami Marlins versus the Detroit Tigers. They're coming up for a series, so we're hoping.
Okay. Well, I hope you get it.
We hope so too.
Okay, well, everybody head on over to the South Florida Tribune. Oh, wait, we have another comment. So it might be a question, sorry.
Nope, it's just you.
And
Hi,
Jeremy,
Jen.
while I'm pulling this up. Hey, Amber. Amber and I went to college together. We were in the same sports sorority too.
Yeah,
Hi,
I already
Amber.
back on Friday.
So you guys are going to South Florida Tribune immediately following this, and Scott's probably about to kick me in the shin. And but Jeremy, where else can the people find you real quick, sir?
You can find me on my channel, which is Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions. You can also find me on the SouthFloridaTribune.com under the Motor City Tribune heading, where you can find all my writings about the NFL and the Detroit Lions. You can pretty soon you will find me on the NFC North Roku channel at noon weekdays, starting in June.
That's awesome.
Good for you.
Okay, we're gonna have you back on very soon. Talk a little more about that, sir. And Candy, tell everybody where they can find you, madam.
Well, always Chicks and Salsa Tuesday nights here, unless of course I'm off running who knows what. But otherwise, South Florida Tribune. Monday nights is 108 Stitches Baseball Talk. Tuesday nights is Inside the Pigskin. Wednesday nights is Sports Exchange. Thursday nights is Fire Up and Pundits Pundit.
Woohoo! Now, next Tuesday night, we have a special guest coming on. So everybody tune in. Like, he's doing some, like, I found him on Reddit, actually. And Marcus has a great story. Let's just say real men do exist. And he is in the process of hoping to improve the quality of life for so many people, including athletes, everyday civilians, and it's amazing. He has an entire team around him. I think we might have part of his team on, but yeah, I'm super stoked about him, and I hope you guys all join in. And go cat, you baby.
Hey,
all right, everybody have a great night. If you guys have any ideas for us to cover, not next week, but the week after, Feel free to hit any of us up except for Jeremy. That's Megan, Carrie, Candy, and I. And we will talk to you guys later. And Jeremy, you're welcome on anytime.
Hey, Joshua, by the way, I'm not transitioning. Didn't you figure it out? I'm the salsa.
Yes, you're spicy.